Hello, everyone. Welcome to Allianz Joy today. Welcome to the show on Win-Win Women TV. And of course, you can find all my shows on YouTube. I am Elian Haan, the host of Allianz Joy. And today we're going to talk a little bit about self-esteem. And I wanted to talk about self-esteem because I see a lot in my work with my patients and with my clients that self-esteem is an issue and is an issue also as a trigger to using substance abuse, using alcohol or drugs, or even opioids, pills, because we feel if we do better, we have better self-esteem. Sometimes if we are using alcohol, sometimes if we're using drugs, sometimes if we're using painkillers. And of course, that is understandable, but not the way to go. Sometimes we just really have to dig a little bit deeper and find out where that self-awareness, self-esteem, confidence is coming from, or lack of confidence, lack of self-esteem is coming from, and where it all started. Today, I just want to discuss a few things with you about that. Welcome, welcome, as I said, to my weekly show, Allianz Joy. Always wanting to share joy and energy with you and do a little bit of mental stuff and a little bit of emotional and spiritual things. And of course, a lot of the physical, right? And today we're also talking about the physical implications of self-esteem. And we'll discuss that a little bit in the sense of how can you recognize that? And how do we see that we're needing to dig a little bit deeper and get a little bit of our self-esteem back? It can be temporarily that we lose a sense of self-esteem, that we just don't go through a very good period of time where we are deeply feeling that we're lacking a sense of belonging, we're lacking a sense of identity, confidence in ourselves, right? Are we really into that position that we can find a little bit of that back? Everybody can do that, but it takes a little bit of time and it takes a little bit of going back to where it all comes from and creating awareness of what triggers you and what makes you feel uncomfortable in certain situations or makes you feel hopeless in certain situations to where you cannot find the strength in that self-esteem, in that self-confidence to get out of that situation. Sometimes I talk about triggers in my work with my patients and clients, and what that is that self-esteem can be a big trigger for like I said, for substance abuse, right? And that is one of the first things that we need to recognize. Do we just need alcohol or drugs to feel better? And most of the time in work or social situations. Do we need to drink at a Christmas party to feel a little bit better about ourselves, or to be a little bit more outgoing, or even to be a little bit more social, to really be able to tap into our social skills? Because most of the time we just don't feel very comfortable around a lot of people. So what that leads to, if we can't find that connection with self, with the I am okay, with that feeling, then what we need is just something to help us, right? And that might be a negative thing if it affects our health and if it affects our well-being, like alcohol and drugs can do. Because if we're going too much, right, of course, that is very unhealthy. So we do not want to just really rely on alcohol or on drugs or on relaxation drugs or on opioids, pain pills to get away of all, to get rid of all that feeling, even physical pain, and be able to feel better going out or going to work or even be functional during the day. We too want to avoid that, right? We want to avoid having that kind of trigger, the self-esteem trigger, negative self-esteem, lead to abuse of alcohol or drugs. So that is one of the most uh, things and one of the most happening things that I see. And that comes from so many things. If we are lacking self-esteem in the moment for a couple of days or even for a long amount of time, that leads us to uncomfortable situations and abuse sometimes. What happens there is that something in the past has changed and altered our thinking about self. And most of the time, those are traumatic events or things or people or places, happenings that were had a very negative effect on us, or things that have been over and over and over being said. We have been told the same negative things about ourselves that we don't believe it anymore. And our thinking is just set into this: I can never feel good about myself. I can never do this. And there's a lot of negative thinking involved there, right? About ourselves, about our being, about our identity, about our looks many, many, many times, about our skills many, many, many times, about our habits, the things that we do many times. It's not good enough. We're not just functioning the way we should. We're just not doing the things right according to others. And all these things can be instilled by outside factors or people that we didn't really have control over. Many times it happens even when we're very, very young, and our thinking is just influenced by that negative impact of talk and action, right? So we just don't see a way out of it. So what can we do to find that confidence? And I talk about that a lot in a physical sense, but today we're also going to talk a little bit about how we can get out of that perception, right? How we can feel a little bit better about ourselves, because there's some components to that self-esteem. And some of these components are that we really have to have a sense of security. We have to have a sense of knowing that we are safe, that we are secure. And if we are not, then that really has a big impact on our self-esteem. So we have to have a sense of security and safety around us, sometimes implemented around us by other people as well, sometimes in a relationship, sometimes by changing an environment where you feel a lot more secure and safe. That will help you through the day. It's also it has a lot to do, one of the components, the second one, is knowing who you are. Really kind of digging deeper. And that just comes with work, and it just comes with reading and study and talk and self-help and sometimes therapy, and sometimes just really going through life to find out where you are and who you are. Just accepting yourself the way you are. Who I am is okay, right? That is a big component of self-esteem. And the next one is, the third one is a huge sense of belonging. Belonging is really important. We really have to have a sense of support, a sense of community, a sense of family, a sense of those circles around you, of loved ones, immediate family, extended family, church family maybe, work, co-workers, other staff, right? People around us, or superiors, management, or leaders that we are feeling safe around, but that also give us a sense of belonging. They accept us, they validate us. And that is so important in that self-esteem. So the third one is really to feel that sense of belonging. That is really a component of self-esteem, a component of feeling confident, right? That is really important. And then the fourth thing that is really important is having a sense of purpose, having a sense of knowing why you're doing what you're doing, having a sense of knowing what your meaning is here on earth, what the meaning of the purpose of your being is, and what you're doing, right? Sometimes that is in our work and in our careers. Getting up, being excited about today, maybe able to contribute something to yourself, to your learning, to your well-being, as well as to others, and maybe even to society and the community, right? It goes again with that sense of belonging. We have to feel that we belong to something and that we can contribute to something, that we have a bigger meaning, that we have a purpose. So that number 4 is really important, to have a sense of purpose and to know what it is and kind of what your vision, what your mission is, right? What are you doing? And what are you doing that for? So that is really important. It's really important to know that. And then the last thing, a really big component of self-esteem is competence, just having faith in your abilities, in your skills, in your strength, being able to work yourself out of situations that you are not comfortable in because you feel good about the things that you can do, can contribute, that you can establish there because you have that sense of self-esteem. That is a really big component. So just taking it back a little bit is the 5 components of self-esteem. Taking it back a little bit, step 1 is that we are having a sense of security, a sense of safety, is that we have a good sense of identity. Who I am is important to get to know myself and to know who I am, right? Kind of like my little shortcomings, my little fun things, the things that I can make people happy or laugh with, just kind of knowing how I react to the situations of life, situations in life, how I react to everything overall. So having a good sense of who I am. And then the next one was that sense of belonging, knowing that I have a good support system and I really matter to people. I matter maybe to my work environment. I matter, of course, to my partner, children, spouse, and family. I am important to them. That is really important. And the next one, number 4, was a sense of purpose. Just knowing that you have a mission and that was intended by your higher power because it makes you unique. You are here for a purpose. You have that purpose. You have that thing that you need to contribute. You're unique. You're just your own self being, amazing being that has so much to add to this world, to the society. Maybe even in a smaller circle, and you don't want to think that big. You are valuable. You have a purpose. You have something to add, and you have something to contribute to your family and to your immediate loved ones, right? Again, to your circle and to your little world. So there is a sense of purpose. And the last one was knowing that you are competent to do so, that you have that strength and the ability and the skills to be in that place. Now, these components for self-esteem are important. And in my work, we talk a lot about that a lot because a lot of people are triggered by negative thinking and low self-esteem. And like I said in the beginning, it comes from somewhere. It might be a long time ago that has been instilled in your little thinking. And in your thinking, it is like, oh my gosh, I can never be good enough. And that way, we just keep circling, right? We just keep circling into that negative thinking and into that negative circle of knowing that you can never do it right. And if you think that you can never do it right, then it's really difficult to get out of that. So going back to those components, we kind of have to break it down and say, well, let's break it down by those components and go over those characteristics, right? It's hard to talk, to find that sense of confidence back. And I've just been only talking about kind of like the mental components of that self-esteem, right? And we're getting to the spiritual components of the self-esteem. Knowing and having faith that you are belonging to a higher power's world, and that there's definitely meaning and a uniqueness to you, that you are here for a reason. You have to find that faith, and if you lost it, you have to find it back to know that you are here for a reason. There is something so amazing about you that is the whole reason that you are here in this existence. And you have to find that faith. You have to find that belief back, knowing that there is an amazing being in you, that there is an amazing reason for you to be here. So that is kind of like the faith component, the spiritual component of knowing that yes, you can climb out of this because yes, there is a reason for it. absolutely a reason for you to be yourself, to be your fun with all your craziness self. So that is very, very important in work that I do with my clients, with my patients, to find that back, right? To find that little spirit back, to knowing that it will be okay. And even if it takes work, and even if it takes some time, and we have to go through a time of doing the work for it, we can really start doing that work emotionally, mentally, and physically to get back to that place that, yes, I know where I am, to find that self-esteem back. Yes. Now, the other way, and that climbing out of that hole and just to feel, it might be a time, right? It might be a while before you can climb out of that. But if you feel that, then you come to a really healthy self-esteem, right? Approval of self, approval of I am okay. I like to be with myself. I like myself. I can be with myself. I can live with myself. I can vacation with myself. I can be strong in situations, even if it's very, very difficult, because I have found some characteristics of positive self-esteem. How can you recognize positive self-esteem? A healthy sense of self-esteem, of self-worth, self-respect, self-regard for that matter, right? It all means the same. How can I find that confidence back in my own abilities and my own worth? It is important that you can be assertive in expressing your needs and opinions. If you see somebody that can do that, then they have a healthy sense of self-esteem. Assertive, they can talk about it, they can say it. I need this is good for me. I understand where you are and I love you, but this is what I need. That's always how I work with my clients, right? If it comes to communication and you want to step back into that really healthy place of self-worth, then you are able to express your needs. And even if it doesn't line up with somebody else and their needs, then you have to be able to express that in a wonderful and competent way. In a way of, hey, I understand where you are. I understand that you think different. I understand that maybe we have a difference in opinion. Maybe our belief systems are different. But I would like you to respect me because this is really what I need right now. And this is really my opinion. And I like having that opinion, right? I like to think that way about things. So that is a number one way, knowing that people have a healthy sense of self-respect and self-worth. If you see them being able to express what they need because they have a sense of what is healthy for them. And sometimes that is fun, for instance, in my work recovery, right? Not just physical recovery, knowing and recognizing the things that you need to do for yourself to stay healthy, but also in addiction recovery, knowing that you recognize triggers and you know what triggers and you know what to do to express your needs in order to stay in a very healthy place. I hope I'm not going too fast. Another one that is very, very important, and how you can recognize, a second thing that you can recognize in people with a very healthy sense of self-esteem is that they have huge faith and trust in their abilities to make decisions. And that helps from small things to big things, right? If you can make decisions and it doesn't take a really long time and a lot of days to get through important moments in life, but you again know what is good for you, and because it's good for you, it's healthy and good for your environment, that is important. So decision making doesn't take a long time. So let's go, for instance, to the mall and go to that place where you used to be when you didn't have a lot of self-esteem. You might stand there and think, wow, it does look good on me. I'm not really sure what's looking good on me. I'm not really sure how to do this. I'm not really sure um, what color fits me, what length. Does it make me look crazy? Does it make me look cute? Does it make me look too much, right? If you just can't make a decision, you're not really sure where you need to be when it comes to that self-esteem. And you're still relying on a lot of other things to make you feel happy or to make you feel confident or to make you feel good. So if it's just the clothes, but not the inside, then we still have some work to do. But I come to that. The clothes always help, right? So you are confident in your ability to make decisions. That is a number two characteristic of knowing that you are climbing the ladder of self-esteem. And the third one is really your ability to form honest, safe, and secure relationships. Not just in the one partner relationship, but in relationships with everybody around you. Like I said, you're able to express your needs and the things that are really healthy and good for you so that you can be in a place of feeling safe and secure and wonderful, able to do the things that you are good at, but also to be honest about it, right? And to be honest in relationships, not afraid to say, hey, that doesn't work for us, or I would like you to listen a little bit different to me so that we can both grow into a different meaning in the relationship, right? We want to grow both. We don't necessarily want to change, but I want you to grow with me, for instance, because I've been doing a lot of self-help and self-work. And so doing that together and being honest about that, being honest about your feelings and being honest about your shortcomings, being able to say, hey, I'm not so good at that, or I'm really, really codependent, or I'm really, really always depending on something else, on you to make decisions. I need help. I'm going to be honest about it, and I'm going to communicate about it. If you can come to that place, then you are increasing in that self-esteem, in that validation, in that valuing yourself, right? It's really, really, really important. The last one of characteristic that you can recognize with people that are really in a good self-esteem place is that they are realistic in their expectations and they're less likely to be overcritical of themselves or others. And they're realistic in the things that they can do, in their abilities to achieve. They're realistic in their skills. They're realistic in their goals. I am not going to set a goal that makes me just next year an offshore welder because I probably won't be able to ever achieve that, right? So I have to stay and get to know myself and stay into this realm of where I really get to know myself, like myself, and do the work that gets me to that place a little bit better. What are some things, let's close with that, some things that you can really do for yourself? Just like little worksheet kind of things, just like little questionnaires that you can ask yourself. You can ask yourself, for instance, to get to a better place, I like who I am because, fill it in. I like who I am because. That's a good answer, or that's a good exercise to do for yourself. And if you write that down, you can even make that an affirmation, right? So if I say to myself, I like myself because I like who I am, because I make people smile, and I have the ability to give people energy, to make them feel good, then that's a thing that I could linger on, right? I could write that down and tell myself that a couple of times a day and go like, yes, that's true. That's true. I'm starting to believe it, right? And another one is I'm super good at, well, I'm super good at teaching yoga, right? But what is it for you? What are you super at? What are you super good at? Being a mom, or being a teacher, or being an amazing florist that can make beautiful arrangements from flowers, or you're an amazing designer and you can draw really well, or you're amazing at playing music, you're amazing at math, and you have this awesome bookkeeping firm, right? So all these things are very, very important for you to find out. You can also go by, I'm feeling good when. I feel good when. So kind of like looking at your environment a little bit. I feel good. My self-esteem grows when I'm in the gym and when I exercise, or I feel good about my fitness routine because that makes me feel stronger emotionally and physically, of course, right? And you can also go a little bit outsource. You can go outsourcing a little bit here, right? My friends really think I have an awesome fill in the blanks. I have an awesome dot, dot, dot. Or my friends think I'm very, very good at. So fill that in so that you can get a little bit of a clue of where you can start with those self-esteem exercises. You can go to this place where you're really happy. How do you feel when you're there on top of the mountain or on the beach? How do you feel? How does it make you feel? Again, why does it make you feel so strong and happy? Why does it give you that self-esteem in that specific place? It's very important to stay there, right? You think you're pretty good at? Fill in the blanks. You admire yourself for what you have done in the past. Looking back always is great, right? Look at your accomplishments for the things that you have already done. Looking back, I have been amazing at fill in the blanks, right? I admire myself for that. When I used to do that, I admire myself for that. And I can still do that. I admire myself for stepping up to the plate like that. So if you can fill in those blanks, then you're talking about yourself, filling in the blanks in a very, very positive way. Other people praise me often because fill in the blanks. I can make this amazing jump in achievement because I have fill in the blanks, those skills. I am naturally gifted at dealing with others, or speaking, or making people laugh, or I am naturally gifted at being with children, teaching children, teaching older adults, working with older adults. Where are your gifts? What are you so good at? What are your abilities? And when do you like being with you, even if it is with a lot of other people around? Right. So find the things you enjoy, find the things that you are good at, look back at your accomplishments, look at what others say about you. Because if you start writing those things down, those are all great, great exercises to find back that self-esteem. And if you find that sense of self-esteem, you find that confidence, you find that safe place, you find your identity, you know what you're doing and why you're doing it, you find that purpose, you find that sense of belonging, then you come back to that really amazing place. An amazing place where we all deserve to be, all of us. I hope this helps you a little bit if you're just into this place of, not feeling it today, right? Or just a little bit off, just not having a good time. You've been alone for a while, or you're just in the recovery from a lot of things that happened to you. If you're in that place, try to practice some of those self-esteem, tiny little exercises that over time will bring you back to that place and that good sense of self. Because you want to come to that place where you really like to be with yourself. That's very important. So I hope that you love being in the show today or watching the show today. I love for you being here. Thank you so much to listening to me. I am Eliane with Eliane's Joy. Look back at this episode if you need it. Find me back on YouTube. The best way to find me? elianhaan.com. www.elianhaan.com. And I will see you next week. I loved being here. Thank you so much. Grateful. Namaste. Have a great week.